Hello everyone, welcome to another video in reproduction in humans. So in the previous video we were discussing about we started with human female reproductive system. So we just had a brief introduction about what is the female reproductive system, what are the different parts of the female reproductive system, and we also discussed about the changes in the ovary that takes place right from when the baby is in the womb till she is born, then when she reaches puberty. Okay, the term is atresia, large scale destruction, because if she is born with a large number of eggs, then it keeps on reducing up till she reaches puberty. Okay, if you have still not checked out the video, please see that video. And now in today's video we are going to see how the sperms are made. Okay, then how are they regulated with respect to hormones and the structure of the sperm. Now you might be wondering, we were discussing about female reproductive system and how come suddenly we are talking about spermatogenesis. So how is the flow of the topic is that in the very beginning we discussed about the male reproductive system, right? There we discussed about different parts, structures and their function. Then we moved on to female reproductive system. So parts, that is the structures and their function. So male reproductive system ho gaya, female reproductive system also we are done, the structure and function. Now we move a little bit detail into the topics. Now again, so it's like male, female. So now we will do how the sperms are made, formed, or you know, their formation takes place in the testes, how the division takes place, cell division takes place. Then we are going to do oogenesis. So male spermatogenesis, then female oogenesis. Fine. Then structure of the sperm, and then the structure of the ovum. And then once we are done with all this, we are going to combine. I mean, then what happens after this? Fertilization. So in the later videos, we will do the fertilization. Okay, so in this video I've consolidated the spermatogenesis, regulation of the spermatogenesis and the structure of the sperm. Okay, and in the next video we will be seeing related to the female, and there we will be seeing the structures, we will be discovering more about the different parts of the female reproductive system in detail. Let's begin. So it's a very simple topic. If you remember this flow chart, it will be easier for you to understand, as well as write a note on this. Okay. So how does the spermatogenesis begin? Let's just understand the word first. Spermato is related to sperms, that is the male gamete, and genesis is nothing but formation. So how are they formed? Can you tell me, can you just pause for a minute, for a few seconds, and recollect where spermatogenesis will happen? Which part of the testes? Remember we did TS of testes, and then inside there were these lobules, and outside there were Leydig cells which secretes male hormone. These lobules were known as seminiferous tubules. Yes, and in the seminiferous tubules you had the nerve cells, the germinal epithelial cells, wherein the sperms are made, are formed, and then they are matured and developed, and further maturation will take place in the epididymis, that is the covering of the testes. So all of that we discussed over there. So now we will just focus that how the haploid sperms are formed from the parent cell. How the haploid sperms are formed. The sperms will be what? Haploid in nature. What is haploid? That is half the number of chromosome. Half the number of chromosome means what? N. Any given parent cell will be always will be diploid in nature. Any given parent cell will be diploid in nature. So half the number of N coming from the paternal side, N coming from the maternal side. Yes, diploid. But when this parent cell, if it undergoes meiotic division, then the daughter cells that will result, it will result into haploid cells. These concepts are something which is you are already exposed to. You already know about the meiotic and mitotic division from your school days. Okay, so meiotic division takes place only in the germline cells. So here we are talking about the germline cells. Mitotic division takes place all over the body in all your somatic cells. Okay, let's begin with the primordial or the parent cell, you can say. Okay, so let's begin with the parent cell. We also call it as the primitive cells or the primordial cell. What will be their chromosome state at this time? We just mentioned that primordial cell or the parent cell will always be in diploid condition. That is 2n. Yes, and we know that from where is this 2n coming? First, what will happen is the parent cell or the primordial cell will try to increase its number. It will try to multiply first. It will try to increase its number. So this multiplication, this increase in number of parent cell will simply be by, it will be by which type of cell division? Mitotic cell division. So from 1, it will result into 2. This will then again divide, then 2, then this will again divide 2. The chromosome state will remain the same because which type of cell division is taking place? Mitotic cell division. At this stage, so first stage is multiplication stage. Just the parent cell, the primordial cell will increase its number by multiplying, by doing mitotic cell division. And what will be the chromosome state at this stage? Diploid. Okay. Then after the multiplication phase, second phase will be growth phase. So this spermatogonia, okay, from primordial, now we call it as spermatogonia. The chromosome number will be the same only. Now these spermatogonia will undergo growth phase. Okay, here only one is representative for represented for ease of understanding, but every all of these will undergo individual growth phase. So let's say we just understand, take this one cell. Now this is undergoing growth phase. This spermatogonia will further grow and mature into something known as primary spermatocyte or primary sperm cell. Spermatocyte, or you can just call it as sperm cell. Okay, but this is the technical term that you should be knowing. Primary sperm cell. Abhi tak koi division has not taken place. Only the division that took place was the mitotic division. So the primary spermatocyte is also having the diploid chromosome state. Now, after the growth phase, it is now ready to undergo meiotic division. Means now it is ready to produce many gametes. Okay, that is the sperm. Up till now, it was the diploid state, that is the primary oocyte, the spermatogonia. Now it will undergo what? Maturation phase, you can call it as. Actually, what happens in the maturation phase? Cell division. What kind of cell division happens? Meiotic cell division happens. So meiosis takes place in 2 stages. All of you are aware of it. Yes, meiosis 1, meiosis 2, and then the different phases of it. That is not required at this moment, but you should be knowing the meiotic 1 phase and meiotic 2 phase. Okay, so this parent cell divides into 2 cells. Then these 2 cells will further result into 4 daughter cells. Now the chromosome state will be half the number of chromosomes, because meiotic division always results into what? Half the number of cells with half the number of chromosomes. Okay, so first meiotic division resulted into something known as secondary spermatocytes. Okay, so you must be aware that first meiotic division is also known as reductional division. That is why from 2n, it directly the number got reduced to n. So reductional division will happen. Then meiosis 2 is equational division, that is, it is more or less like mitosis only. This is the repetition of what we have already studied in 11th standard and your 10th standard, okay? Mitosis and meiosis. If you are still not aware of the mitotic and meiotic cell division, please refer to the previous recordings so that you get a better understanding of this type of cell division. That is, what is the outcome of mitotic division and what is the outcome of meiotic division. Okay, so after that, finally, you will see 4 haploid cells, which are known as spermatids. Okay, now this spermatid is up till here not functional, non-functional. Once it undergoes spermiogenesis, that is a part of maturation phase, when it acquires this tail, then it becomes fully functional. Now it is fully functional and ready to fertilize the egg. At this stage, you can either call it as spermatozoa or you can just simply call it as the sperm. There's a difference between the functionality between the spermatozoa sperm or the spermatids. Okay, spermatids are non-functional at this stage. Once they acquire the mobility, the motility, okay, then they become the functional sperm, active sperm, or the active spermatozoa. The chromosome state of the spermatid and the spermatozoa is N only. Yeah. So this is the representation of how primordial cells will result into formation of the sperms. Okay. This is with respect to the place where it will happen. The same thing, but just giving you a perspective of where the division will take place. So this is the magnified version of the seminiferous tubule that we were talking. Seminiferous tubule, this section. Okay. Magnify this section. So this is how it will look like from outer to inner, from outer to inner, like this, move like this. Okay. So these are the places where primordial like sperm cells are there, spermatogonium, which are diploid in nature. Then primary spermatozoids grow, they are growing over here. Okay, so they multiplied. So here the number was less, you can see over here. And then they multiplied. Here the number seems to be more. Yes. Now after multiplication, mitotic ho gaya. Now they will undergo division again, but meiotic division after the growth phase. And here you will see the spermatids in over here, this region, and when they are functional, they will be located, concentrated in the center. Okay, so the sperm cells which are haploid in nature. Make a note of all this, and if you have any doubt, make a note of it, and you can ask me in the live class. Okay, so how this happens? Does spermatogenesis happens on its own? No, there is hormone influence under which the spermatogenesis will take place. So when the male reaches puberty, again from 14 years onwards, so when the male reaches puberty, the hypothalamic region of the brain, hypothalamic region is somewhere over here of the brain. Okay, it is responsible to secrete a hormone which is known as gonadotropin releasing hormone. Gonad stands for your female reproductive system, female reproductive system. So in general, we call them as gonads. So they will secrete this hormone known as gonadotropin releasing hormone. This hormone in turn will do what? It will trigger the pituitary gland, okay, to secrete follicle stimulating hormone and LH hormone. These are the names of the hormones you need to know. We are going to do these hormones again when we do menstrual cycle, and in the next chapter, control and coordination, we are going to see the latter part of the chapter specifically dedicated to hormones only. So we will be discovering there in more details. Right now, just know the fact that, okay, GnR is released at the time of puberty, under which FSH, it triggers the pituitary gland to release something known as follicle stimulating hormone. And this will stimulate the testes to start producing sperm. ultimate, what we have to know that the sperms are triggered, the testes are triggered to produce sperm. The testes are the ones which will produce the sperm. Where are the sperms getting produced? In the seminiferous tubule. Also, surrounding the seminiferous tubule, you have Leydig cells. Remember, Leydig cells or the interstitial cells over here. So they are also producing hormone testosterone, and that testosterone is produced under the influence of FSH and LH. FSH and LH is produced under the influence of GnRH. So it's like, you know, the principal giving instruction or giving direction to the staff or the teachers to carry out XYZ task. Then the teachers give instruction to the students, let's say, or let's say to the student council that you have to get this task done by the students. Then the student council gives signal or give instruction directions to the general student to carry out XYZ task. So it's like that. So GnRH triggers pituitary gland to secrete this hormone. This FSH and LH, it goes and triggers the testes that now you start the process of making sperms. But before that, this FSH and LH triggers the testes. How does it triggers? By triggering the Leydig cells to start producing testosterone. Then under the influence of the testosterone, the Sertoli cells and the seminiferous tubules together, they function to produce the sperms. Okay, that is the process of spermatogenesis. This is how the whole process is connected from one to the another. Okay, and this is how a sperm will look like. So you have the head portion, then you have the middle piece, and then you have the tail. Okay, the head portion is having a covering which is known as acrosome, cover or a cap, you can say cover or a cap, which is known as acrosome. This cap is having digestive enzymes like hyaluronic acid, many hydrolytic enzyme. And why this enzyme? Because the sperm has to penetrate egg. The sperm has to penetrate the egg. How it will gain entry inside the egg? Egg is having a boundary, right? It is covered by many membranes. So the sperm has to crack open the membrane. It has to crack open the membrane and gain inside and gain entry inside the ovum, inside the egg for fertilization, right? So the acrosome is having the enzymes which will break open or digest or neutralize or destroy the egg membranes, and then finally it can come inside the egg. So that acrosome having these enzymes will serve that purpose. Okay, so the whole sperm will not enter, only the nucleus basically enters. So nucleus is having the genetic material. Nucleus is a genetic material, the DNA of the sperm, which will be haploid in nature, that is 23 chromosomes. 23 only, 23 set of chromosomes, not 46. Okay, then this is the middle piece, which is having spirally coiled mitochondria. This mitochondria is responsible for giving the mobility action to the sperm. So the sperm has to be motile, has to be constantly moving. So that energy will be from the mitochondria, coming from the mitochondria, mid piece. And then this is the tail or the flagellum, which causes the sperm to swim. Fine. This portion is known as the collar, which is having a lot of mitochondria in it. So this collar will have multiple mitochondria surrounded because energy requirement is very much. Fine. So this is how a sperm will look like. I have included this slide. So this is for you to pause and read through it. Yes. And make a note of everything that you don't understand. Okay, and we can discuss obviously in the live class. So this is everything consolidated, like a summary from a snip, a screenshot from the textbook for you to just, while you are referring to the PDF, so that the matter is there in the PDF only. So you have a look, you can pause the video and just read through it. Make a note of any word or any line you don't understand and you ask me in the live class. Okay. So in the next video, we are going to study about oogenesis. So that is how I told you we are going to study. We studied male reproductive system, female reproductive system, then the spermatogenesis and structure of sperm. Now in the next video, we'll do oogenesis and the structure of ovum. Okay, how the eggs develop and all that stuff. So thank you. Take care. See you in the next class. Till then, keep revising, keep practicing. Okay. Try to finish all your recordings. Don't keep pending recordings. And feel free to reach out if you have any difficulty. Thank you. Bye bye.